Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well. So, as we get into a new day, new dollar, new news, new kicking off around the gaff, what's happened? Well, there's one player that's in the headlines right now because things are very, very much in motion. But stay till the end because we've got some other substantial updates, especially around one certain player. So, stay till the end. But let's start off with the latest. Big elephant in the room. Javi Simmons. What's going on? Here it is. Florian Plettenberg saying talks between Chelsea and Javi Simmons' camp, which also includes his brother, Faustino, will continue today. The goal is to reach a verbal agreement. Xavi is open to a move to Chelsea. Talks with Leipzig will follow in due course. In the event of a transfer, Chelsea can imagine playing with two number 10s. Arsenal are so far only waiting in the wings. As for FC Bayern, he remains a personal topic for Max Eberl. At present, however, there is still no progress despite stalled negotiations regarding Nick Woltemade. So, I mentioned this yesterday, and that was just off the top of my head in terms of how I thought he might fit in. Two number 10s. This is true. This is why I'm saying the players that we're going for seems like it's going to create an environment where we will be able to deploy 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways of playing in terms of that front line at least. How to change the shape. This is going to be a very, very interesting dynamic. And I completely agree. Javi Simmons comes in. He can play as a number 10. He can play as a second 10. We normally talk about Cole Palmer and what he can do. Well, now you stick Javi Simmons next to him. And even for Cole Palmer, this opens space. This relieves him a little bit. Takes a little bit of pressure off because we were so heavily reliant on Cole Palmer. Now you have someone of quality who's next to him who can replicate the same sort of thing as Cole Palmer. That's a big statement, by the way, because I know some of you are going, no, chill. But I'm telling you, Javi Simmons, in terms of the type of player he is capable. So this is going to be a very, very interesting format. And on top of that, we know he can play off the left. He can play in rotation, or not just in rotation. I think he'd be ahead of Jamie Gittins, someone that can even tuck inside. This is going to be a very interesting saga. We'll wait and see how this is all going to go down. But there's more on Javi Simmons. Let's check this out. Javi Simmons is keen on the move. He likes the project of Chelsea, and so the conversation is now going to be ongoing in the next days between Chelsea and Leipzig on the transfer fee. But Javi Simmons is the next big target for Chelsea. Javi Simmons has completely opened doors to Chelsea as his priority now. Club-to-club talks are set to start soon. We also have, as per others, Javi Simmons is open to a move to Chelsea. Chelsea also simultaneously keeping an eye on the Alejandro Garnacho situation, long-standing interest in the player who would prefer to stay in the Premier League. Manchester United are unlikely to move for Nicholas Jackson. No bid launched despite reports in the media yesterday. Right. Then we have quite a bit, which I'm about to get into. This is going to be quite substantial. But Javi Simmons basically doing everything in his power now to choose Chelsea as his number one. It's his priority. Look, I'm pretty convinced we're going to get this done. Javi Simmons is going to be joining Chelsea Football Club, surely. You know, unless if something wild happened between Chelsea and Leipzig. We'll see how these discussions are going to go down. Well, I was going to say we have a good relationship with them. You know what? We could get a good end of the deal here. Because we could look at Leipzig and go, okay, guys, look. You gave us Timo Werner. Yeah, that was okay. That was good. But it wasn't what we was expecting. You gave us Nkunku. Yeah? Well, that was all right as well. But again, wasn't quite what we was expecting. You better make sure it's third time lucky. If not, we're not going to do business with you ever again. You know? The only difference here is that this move has been initiated by the player, not by the club. Leipzig just signed him on a permanent. Javi Simmons is the one who's looking for a move elsewhere because they haven't got Champions League football, because things are not in his favour. However, Leipzig know that they can get good money for him now rather than just keep a player who's unhappy. this has been more on Javi Simmons' end because he wants to join the Premier League. So I'd like to think that Javi Simmons is going to be joining Chelsea. I don't see why not. He seems really keen. Really keen. Salary, I don't think will be much of an issue. I think this will go ahead. All it takes is one fee to be agreed between Chelsea and Leipzig, and boom, all of a sudden, he will be having his medical. We'll wait and see how this one's going to go down. Let me know your thoughts. I reckon this is going to be moving pretty quickly. But there's one factor we have to consider here. What is it? Nkunku. And or Jackson. We've got Madueke gone. That might have maybe alleviated a few things. But if Nkunku or Jackson leave, that opens up the door for deals to happen immediately. So I would say let's wait and see how this one's going to go down. But in the next few days, fingers crossed, we get this one wrapped up and Javi Simmons will be joining Chelsea Football Club. I've told you what I thought on the player yesterday. You can go and check out those videos in terms of the detail and why I want him and why I think he would thrive. Go and have a look. Much appreciated. But we'll keep our tabs on this one and see what's going to happen. Now, Simon Johnson had a lot to say for The Athletic. So let's get into it. Here it is. Chelsea are optimistic that there will be more departures soon. Here's the latest from Simon Johnson. Chelsea have dropped their asking price by £22 million for Christopher Nkunku, who has admirers in the Premier League, Italy and Germany. In January, Chelsea valued the France international at £65 million, a figure that has now been cut to €50 million, around £43.3 million. João Felix is the subject of talks from one large club in Portugal and a few others from the Saudi Pro League. Chelsea are looking to sell the 25-year-old attacker for €50 million, including add-ons. Atletico Madrid have joined Bayern Munich and one Premier League club in the race for 21-year-old defender Renato Veiga. Chelsea want a minimum of €40 million. And Raheem Sterling began pre-season training last week. And a Champions League club in Europe is keen to sign him. An offer of £20 million will be accepted. Everything I just read sounds wild. So if I'm trying to piece this together correctly, right, we're looking for about 120 million, 130 million total here. That would be wild. And that's just for those 4 players. Do you remember when I was giving you the valuation? Like a couple of weeks ago, I was telling you how much I think we can get from the outgoings. And I said 180 to 200, we should be able to get in. These 4 alone, 120, 130 million pounds. Outrageous. But I'm surprised with the Nkunku one at least. Because Nkunku, who went to the Club World Cup and actually done all right, I thought would be able to maybe bump the fee back up to maybe around 50 million or so. But to be honest, I wouldn't be fussy either on this. £43 million sounds about right. I'll be honest. It's, you know, I would do it. I would do it because we are clearly eager to get him sold. And the same goes for a lot of the other players. When you're clearly eager to get them out the door, your negotiating power kind of takes a hit. I get it. But that value should be enough for clubs to come in and go, yeah, you know what, we'll make a move. Nkunku for £43 million. We bought him in. And after the amount of time that he's spent at the club, if we sell him for this money, technically, we're in profit. So that's one. João Felix, the big club in Portugal, we already know is Benfica. So I don't know why this one is being made like we don't know what's going on. But €50 million is a lot. That's £43 million. Are we able to sell João Felix for £43 million? Legitimately, are we able to do that? I didn't think we would. I think we would struggle to get close to 30. But if we're able to sell him for that, you've got to remember, João Felix wasn't brought in because of his ability as a player. João Felix was brought in because we wanted to sell Conor Gallagher. It's as simple as that. And we bought him. Now, if we're able to sell him for a little bit more than what we actually bought him for when we were looking to get him in just to get rid of Gallagher, then I think we've got away with one. I really think we would have gotten away with one there. We're lucky boys. We're lucky. Because to get that sort of business done and then not really utilize the player and then end up selling him for more than what you bought him for, I don't know how we're going to pull that one off. But if we do, fair flipping play, because that's risky. That's the type of business I don't want us to do anymore. Don't want to see that again. It might actually work out this time. You know, count your blessings, as they say. Count your blessings. So there's that. Renato Vega, we already know that one looking like it's happening. And yeah, Atletico Madrid as well as Bayern Munich both interested. Cool. 40 million euros for that. We already know that's going to be 30, 35 million pounds for him to be sold. Raheem Sterling, though. Hang on. Who is this Champions League club? I want to know. I want to know. I will buy lunch for them. Or something. Oh, you know what? That's a bit too much. I'll buy a coffee. Yeah. Who wants coffees? No problem. Coffee's on me. Yeah. I'll buy all the coffees for one morning of everyone at the football club at that football club. What club is this? Which unnamed Champions League team want Sterling? Legends. I will. You know what? Forget coffees. I'll buy a top. I'll buy a top. Unless it's Barcelona. I'm not buying that top. Hell no. Not happening. Not happening. Or PSG for that matter. Hell no. Not doing it. Thank you very much. No. Who is this Champions League club? Is it... Oh. Steaua Bucharest? Is that you? I don't know. 20 million. 20 million. 20 million will be accepted. I really want to know who it is. But they are coming in clutch. Absolutely coming in clutch. What a phenomenal football club they truly are if this is the case. So let me know your thoughts on that one. That's the latest with all these outgoings that we are looking to speed up now and get out the door. So let me know your opinions down in the comment section below. David Ornstein has given us a little bit of an indicator as well on his end with what's going on. Here it is. Manchester United transfer focus now on areas including number 9s. Recent inquiries for Ekitike plus Gyökeres, Sesko, Watkins, Jackson on list but not actively pursuing. Can change if prices reduce. Man United currently working more on other candidates. It's because Chelsea have valued him in the same fee as Ekitike, which to be honest is fair. It's fair. It's fair business. If we've got strikers out all being valued at 80 million, then screw it. Ours is too. Simple as that. He's not 80 million, but they don't need to know. 80 million, you know what I mean? 80. And then if a club comes in and pays 60, then no, we will refuse. We will refuse. We will refuse 60 million. Yeah? I hope that made sense. But talking about Nicholas Jackson, yeah, here's more. Manchester United are not currently pursuing Nicholas Jackson, so the situation will only change if finances of a potential deal alter significantly. Nothing active as it stands despite respect for the player. We also have, and this is already what's been discussed about Renato Vega as well. Now, I'm going to skip that Renato Vega bit because we already discussed. Nicholas Jackson, Man United, you're not looking to pursue, no? Fine, that's fine. That's no problem. No problem at all. Aston Villa, where are you? Aston Villa, come through, please. Come through. We got to talk. Yeah, no, Villa, look, your coast is clear for you guys. The coast is clear. Do you want Nicholas Jackson? Because clearly United over there, they're not bothered. So listen, Aston Villa, I would get in now before they change their minds because they're known for changing their minds very often. So, you know, you guys can snap this up now for a premium. You know, we won't accept 60 million, just saying. So you can do business now or wait and then risk that they might actually end up coming back in, which is what they're indicating they're going to do anyway because they're desperate. So, Villa, over to you. I hope that works. Now, talking about the left-back situation, because we've already mentioned about Renato Vega, let's get into this. This is more on Hato. Chelsea have made a fresh inquiry for João Hato. Nothing has progressed yet, but the situation is said to be ongoing. We also have Chelsea still active on João Hato after opening fresh talks. No bid yet, but one to watch. So this one, look, I actually think we're going to move for Hato. As soon as Vega is out the door, I think we're going to move for Hato. It doesn't seem like anyone's really in the way either. And this is a deal we absolutely have to get done. Now, today, if I'm not mistaken, is Cucurella's birthday. Happy birthday to Cucurella. Hope he has a good one. Hope he's enjoying holiday. Don't get too wasted. But he is turning 27. Or he has turned 27. 27. 19. See, Hato coming in as a backup for now, but someone as an understudy, could initiate the perfect transition afterwards when Cucurella does reach 30, 31. In 4 years' time, for example, at 23, Hato can really just be in the thick of it, and he'll take the reins if Cucurella does start declining, which at some point is going to happen, because especially for a fullback or wingback, players that play on the flanks, at that age you do start coming down a little bit. So let's see how this one's going to go, but that would be the perfect structure. João Hato, it seems like someone we're going to end up chasing, but as soon as Renato Veiga is out the door. Outgoings, incomings, not ingoings, like I said yesterday. Now, talking about outgoings and incomings, there's one here which this is where we got to bring the brakes and push it and just talk about something very, very quickly, because this we don't want happening. What I'm about to show you now, hell no. Chelsea are still open to offers for Trevor Chalobah. This is because Wesley Fofana is still considered ahead of him in the pecking order. I'm sorry, but this one, no. No. I've said this before. He cannot be sold. He cannot. Especially for Fofana. I'm sorry. But if we were discussing a top centre-back who is fit, then we might have something to talk about. But Fofana, who, out of all the injured bunch, right? And fair play to Reece James, because I remember at one point, I basically wrote Reece James off. I didn't think he would be coming back to the level that we've seen of him prior under Thomas Tuchel. But he's actually rehabilitated brilliantly. He's now looking consistent. He's not getting injured anymore. He's looking strong. He's leading well. He's really got back into the mix. So credit to Reece. Lavia, we're still seeing some issues with, but not as frequent or as deadly as they used to be. Fofana though, Fofana's the one that you look and you go, I literally don't know what's going on with you, bro. And the one thing that he has over the other two is that I say over, it's probably under, is that he was getting injured before he even walked into Chelsea. At Leicester, he was injured. He's played what? Since he's arrived at Chelsea, he's played just over 30 matches. And he's been here how long? A few years now. It's unacceptable. Not on, obviously, this isn't a personal attack on Fofana. Your body is your body. You can only do what your body can give you. But I'm sorry, that's not good enough. You know what I mean? It's just not. Now, if we're looking to actively sell Chalobah, or we're happy to listen to offers because of Fofana, what happens when we sell Chalobah and Fofana gets injured one more time and he's out for 20 games? Well, great. Well, you know what we'll be saying? We'll be saying exactly what we were saying when we sent Chalobah out on loan to Crystal Palace. Oh, man, would be good to have Chalobah here, wouldn't it? We'll be in the same situation. Let's not do that, please. Please, let's not do that again. Chalobah has proven that he is able to play at Chelsea to a good standard, stay consistent, and he stays fit all the time. He's never out. And he cares. And he does put in performances. And you saw him at this Club World Cup as well. Fantastic. There is absolutely, even in a world where Fofana is fit, Chalobah stays. He stays. I don't see why we would need another right centre-back in that case. What's the point of selling Chalobah to then bring in Fofana to know that we're not covered in order to then go out and get another defender? Just keep Chalobah. We're good. We're actually good. Now, if you want to talk about the left-hand side centre-backs, then that's a different story. But even then, I mean, Levi Colwill, this is where you can start discussing Badiashile, and then you talk about Anselmino perhaps and what's going on there. But we're good. On that right-hand side, we're good. We're good. We don't need more. Tosin is there too to provide additional cover. We're good. So, if anything, we should have questions about Fofana. Is he able to actually remain fit? We don't know. We actually don't know. This is something that we're genuinely looking, going, we're worried. We're actually worried. So, let's wait and see what happens on this. But by no reason should Chalobah be sold. Absolutely not. Hell no. And you know what? Just for the sake of him being left on the curb, and then sent to Crystal Palace because we couldn't get him sold, if you remember. And then, you know, he goes to Crystal Palace. He plays the way he plays. And then we call him back. And he does come back and he acts professional. He acts like nothing happened. He puts his head down. He plays. He does well. He gets his place in the team. And now we're going to listen to offers. Nah, come on, man. That's not fair. That's not fair on him. That's actually not fair on him at all. And not just because of any sentimental value. He deserves to play for Chelsea. He actually does deserve it. He's played well. So, no, I wouldn't sell him. No chance. Let me know what you think. What would you do? Let me know down below. Much appreciated. Now, talking about loan deals, Chelsea have rejected offers to sell Mark Gu. They are looking at a loan, with their preference being for the striker to stay in England. I would agree with this. Personally, I think that would be a good move for him. And I do agree to not sell him. Don't sell Gu, because I do think there's a good striker there. He just needs playing time. He needs a very good loan. I would hope that a Premier League club can come in for Mark Gu, personally. And then we'll see what he does in the Premier League. He needs adaptation. He needs Premier League experience. He needs minutes in England. And I think if that were the case, we really get to see what Mark Gu can now do at the next step, the next level. That will give us answers, and then we'll can see from there if he's ready to come into Chelsea or if he's not. Because at that point, we could be in a situation where we could actually bring in Mark Gu as an additional striker option. We actually could, on a serious level. You know, where he's part of the squad. That could be done. But he needs a loan. He needs minutes. So let's see who is going to be interested in that. Good decision not to sell. Now, another person that's gone out on loan. Chelsea defender Caleb Wiley has completed a return to Championship club Watford on a season-long loan. And we've even got Watford Football Club in the comments telling him, welcome back, Caleb. Listen, Wiley, we've not seen enough. I'll be honest. You know, I remember when we bought him, and loans are absolutely what needs to be done at this point. I don't even know if he's going to be one just for maybe for the profit, maybe for the books. Maybe he plays and then we end up selling him. We make a little bit of profit from him. Or is he actually one option that, based on a very good loan, that we actually consider to bring into the Chelsea squad? I honestly don't see it. As of right now, I don't see it. But he's one of those players that we might be just very patient with, and we'll see how he does on all of these loans. So let's wait and see. Time will tell on that one. So thoughts in the comment section below. To wrap up, this is interesting. This is a player that I would have liked, but you can't have them all. Understandably, here it is. Liverpool are expected to make a move for Lyon winger Malik Fofana, 20, after Federico Chiesa's exit, says Sasha Tavolieri. That's an interesting one. I did mention before we got Gittins, before looking at Javi Simmons, I mean, to be honest, we're good now. I don't think we don't need Fofana. Between Gittins and Fofana, that was a debate at that time. And I liked Fofana, I think, in terms of what he brings. But what he brings, I think we get with Javi Simmons. So I'm not all fussed about it now. Because if we're getting Javi Simmons, then we're good. In fact, you see, this is where maybe with a little bit of time, things work out in ways that you don't anticipate. Because I like Fofana for the type of profile that he is, for the type of player that he is. He's a player that uses his brain. He's a player that plays with a lot of IQ. He's very quick and technical. He's got a lot of skill. Gittins looks more like a winger that is very just on executing and is very, I don't want to say robotic, that's the wrong word, but he's very A to B, A to B, A to B, right? The player that I like seems like we're getting with Javi Simmons. So what that does is if we're getting Javi Simmons and we've got Gittins, well, now we've got two different types of player. You know what I mean? Instead of just getting Fofana and being like, okay, well, that's that. Because if you have Fofana and you have Javi Simmons, I think you have two very similar players. You don't quite want that. You do want different profiles. So now having Gittins and having Javi Simmons actually ticks the box for me to have a player that's got the traits like I had seen in Malik Fofana. So as long as we get Simmons in, I'm cool. But let me tell you this, Liverpool getting Fofana would be a very good move. Be a very good move for him. Would be a very good move for Liverpool. And would be that left winger option ticked off without having to spend too much money. But I mean, you know, salaries won't be too high. It's not Rodrigo. You know, Rodrigo would be the dream, but he's a lot of money. He is a lot of money for everyone. And we're not even sure if he's leaving Real Madrid. That's the whole point anyway. So Fofana, Liverpool, that actually would be a good move and would be good cover to have in the event that, say, Luis Diaz leaves. I even think Fofana would be going into a club that's got a very good environment for him to grow and thrive and have enough very good players around him for him to up his game too. So we'll see how this one goes. I hope Liverpool don't get him. I hope. But if they do, it's a good move for them. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. I will catch all of you later on tonight as we dive into video number 2. So make sure you are there. Subscribe, notification bell on. I will catch all of you then. Have a good one, people. Look after yourself. See you tonight. Take care and peace.